What's going on, Team MG? I'm here with Mango and my awesome student Robert here, and we are going to be showing you what the next step is for driving. Mango's a 17-year-old Paso, and he's just learning how to drive right now. So we've already gotten to the place where we can pony him, we take him out, this, that, and the other. People have been asking me, what do I do after I've ponied the horse around? If we were already to the place that we have spent time out, notice how I have him rigged up, where I have everything up and I have him tied to a fence. If I was doing this by myself, this is how I would like to hook them up. Tied to something solid where they're not going anywhere, hook them up myself, have a hold of the lines, and unhook them. Since Mango's green, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook him up, and then we're gonna untie him, and Robert's gonna pony me a little bit for a session or two. And as soon as he does that, we're gonna open the gates and take him out. So we're gonna let him know where we're at, always talking. We'll pick up this end. Whenever we're picking up our cart, we're bringing where it's curved here over his hips and then dropping down right before the shaft loops. And then this comes all the way towards his chest. We're gonna take our tugs out here. Notice how convenient it is to have him tied up. We'll go to the first one, good sir. There we go. Always, the tugs are the first thing to hook up and the last thing to come off. The reason being is a lot of people want to hook these quarter straps, which are the horse's brakes, on, and when people do that, if you unhook the tugs and leave the brakes hooked up or the quarter straps hooked up, what will happen is if your horse was to surge off, the shafts would come out of the shaft loops, and then the points of the cart would be dangling behind his back feet on the ground. And whenever they catch the ground and get stuck, then the cart will flip over forward on top of the horse. Not an awesome sight. So what we're looking for here, notice right here on this back, let's drop this one. I'm looking at the breeching here, and I want to make sure from the farthest part of his butt here that it's one hand under. So I needed to drop it one hole. I'm noticing that my tugs and my shafts, these are my tugs, that's what pulls, and my shafts are lined up pretty straight and even. Especially for your gaited horses, you want to make sure that your tugs and your breast collar aren't on their breathing, aren't on their air pipe. So I want to be able to see that I can stick my hand right down in here and it's not cutting off his air supply. So that'll be good for him. Perfect. Everything looking good. One more check of the lines. My lines are attached to my snaffle and they're above everything. A lot of times it's very easy for straps to end up above your drive lines. So make sure whenever you do this that there's nothing on top of the drive lines. And then I'm gonna come over here and Robert, if you'll untie him. He's fixing a quarter strap over here. That's another fun fact as well. The quarter straps, which are the brakes, they go under the tugs. It's just one more thing keeping that breeching down. And if my horse was to get scared or worried, we don't want the breeching to come off. That's the whole point of the crupper. The crupper being what's under the horse's tail. The only purpose for that is that everything we can do to keep the breeching, which is the strap that goes around his butt, on his butt. Because if that comes off, then we don't have brakes anymore. So Robert's basically just gonna lead him off. Notice how we have this horse at an angle from the fence. Robert's just gonna move off and to the left, and I'm gonna go around you. All right, if you'll go left, go left. There you go, we'll stay away from that water. The two biggest things that we wanna see. All right, Rob, you can hang out in the middle. There we go. So notice how he starts, since this horse has already been driven a couple times, he's outside of his vision. So the horse has blinders on, but he can't see Robert. So Robert's there just as a security blanket for the first couple moments that we drive this horse off. Since we've already ponied him a few times, he's not really having issue. Oh. The two times that you're likely to have an issue is the first time that you go forward and the first time that you turn. So the fact that he's not really having an issue, and we made it through the first movement and the first turn with no issue, now we're gonna unhook him. So if you'll unhook my line there, and Robert's gonna be nice enough to open the gate over there. Before he does that, I'm gonna make one more circle here in the enclosed pen. The enclosed pen is the hardest place for the horse to drive because there's a lot of turning. When we go out here in the field, everything's going to be big and loopy and easy on the horse. With that being said, if he can stop here and he can turn here in these close quarters, he's going to be comfortable. Where horses have issue, that first initial driving, realizing that they have to push into the weight, and number two, whenever they turn, especially for my riding horses, whenever they turn, they feel the shaft in his shoulder turning into it, but then on their butt, they feel the other shaft turn, so they have to learn how to push into it. And your riding horses are sensitive, and also on top of that, they're trained to give the pressure. So the big pro tip here is forward is your friend. A lot of people really want to shut these horses down and slow them down. If we run into issue, I'm just going to drive him forward. Get one more circle in here before we drive out. If there's any issues, you'll see me kissing to him and adding that pressure to get him to go forward, because when he goes forward, he's going to straighten up. What I do not want is I don't want him backing up. So right there, when there was a question about forward, I touched him on the butt with the reins. Now I'm going to shoot for the middle of that gate. There we go, made it right out of the gate. Now we're going to go right out here. Big circles. Now I'm a little inhibited. Because of the microphone. So my circles are a little bit smaller than they would be, but look how it's big and loopy. Very nice. And, oh. All right, Miss Betsy, you want to come ride with me? We'll give the folks a point of view shot, and then we won't have to worry about them not being able to see. All right, guys, so when we drive this horse, we have a big open space. So if he speeds up a little bit, I'm not going to panic. That's the biggest thing. Don't panic. You have a lot of space and opportunity to slow this horse down. What I don't want to do is intimidate him so much in the face that he's not willing to go forward. Again, remember, the biggest thing that I had to learn whenever I went from driving mammoth mules and Percherons with my mentor to driving riding horses on a cart is that for those mammoth mules and for those driving horses, you kept them at a walk, no matter what. The difference is those driving horses are built to pull and to lay into pressure, where our riding horses that we use every day, they're really meant to give the pressure. They're sensitive. So we have to give the horse the confidence to go forward. Just like colt starting, I have to give him the freedom to go forward. So you'll see here, I'm looking for him to go forward. I want to have a little contact right there. So we hit a hole and he surges. I touch, touch, touch until he's at the speed that I want, and I release him again. What I don't want is I don't want constant contact. I don't want him to be pulling on my hands the whole time. Just like when I'm riding, I don't want the horse pulling on the hands the whole time. So when we're moving around here, if he goes faster than what I want, I will touch, 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 a little left, right, and release. If you need to, look how I have my hands out in front of me. If I need to grab more reins, I'll hold with one hand and slide my hand with the other. I never want to let go of my reins, of my lines. If we slow them down to a walk, instead of just grabbing them and pulling them back, I'm just going to start touching, 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 and gradually break him down, because again, I don't want to inhibit him so much that he feels like he can't go forward, because when we do that, that will get a horse to really launch, to really jump through the air and do funky things. If he feels like forward is freedom and we can just gradually slow him down or guide him one direction or the other, that's really going to make him a lot happier, a lot easier going. Just like that, we get a session out and about in the field. We have him off the pony. The two things that we're looking for, we want horses to be able to stand still real good. The two things that we're looking for whenever we're doing this is, can our horse drive off? So watch when I ask him to go, we're looking that he doesn't jerk us, that he walks into it. So we start adding pressure and he just walks off, perfect. That's one thing that we need to see, is that he steps off into it, not that he's trying to jerk it and get momentum. The next thing is, can he turn in both directions? So here you see he speeds up a little bit, and that turn I just kind of get in his way. Beautiful left-handed turn. Now we're going to look for a right-handed turn. And again, when you do this, it's normal for them to speed up, because watch the shafts on the left side touching his butt. You see that right there? And there's a shaft on his right side touching his shoulder. And again, he's a riding horse. So his whole life he's been taught to give to pressure. And now we're telling him, drive into it, pull us, it's okay. Very nice. So you get out and about, you have a nice trip, a nice session. I will ride him all the way back to the arena and right back to a fence to finish it off. Especially for you folks who are doing this by yourself that don't have help. Guys, start off and stop with your horse tied up. So watch, we'll drive him right back in the same arena we came from. And I want you to watch this process. I'm going to take him right towards the fence on an angle like this. Oh, now watch as I gather up on him. This is really good for you if you're working by yourself. Look how I gather up on the reins. I never give him a belly in the reins all the way until I have him by the face. And you can have your line already tied up and ready to go on the fence line. You do that and the horse never has a chance to get away. That way you can hook and unhook your horse in relative safety, because that's what we want to see, is you guys are out there being safe. Come right here through it. If I was doing this and I was you guys by yourself, I'd have a rope that I could just clip to, and I would clip him and unclip him for hooking him up and unhooking him. If you do this, this is the safest out of all the mentors that I've had and all things, methods that I've learned. This is the safest way that I've seen to get your riding horse that's a bit sensitive driving a cart. And you do it in a relatively quick amount of time. In a matter of, this guy probably has 4 sessions, 5 sessions prior to this session, and drove like a champ. But he already knows how to go forward. He already knows how to give left and right. He already knows how to stop. Watch for the unhooking process. We're going to take off the quarter straps first. Here's a pro tip. Here's a pro tip. Do not take the blinders off of the horse until you take the cart off of the horse. You hear how that sounds like a voice of experience? It's because I've done that. And the horse doesn't even realize what's behind them, and then they get sketched out by it. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.